Well, I am Prof.Jeelani, Director, Center for Distance and Virtual Learning, Hyderabad Central University, located in the Golden Threshold campus. In fact, I have put up nearly 30 years of teaching, research and academic administrative experience. Started my career from Usman University in the year 1990, when I completed PhD. Started from 1985. Then I worked in Anwarlum College for some time. Then I joined the National Remote Sensing Agency, ISRO, as the scientist in the remote sensing technology using the satellite data analysis. Afterwards, after putting lot of efforts as a scientist in ISRO, I got an offer in the University Grants Commission as educational officer, as a deputy secretary and as a joint secretary, which is a long career for almost more than 13 years. I have been to be in University Grants Commission and the Southern Regional Head for heading for 4 states, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Pondicherry, Kerala, Karnataka, 4 states, handling with the 18 universities and nearly 2,000 colleges. I have been monitoring, financially supporting to these institutions, academic monitoring we have been doing away. Then afterwards, as a part of university exposure and experience in the central universities, I could able to work as a controller of examination in Maulana Azad National Urdu University. I also happened to be worked as a acting registrar of Maulana Azad National University for some time. Then after ISRO exposure, after the UGC exposure, after the central university exposure, I joined this prestigious, the first central university in South India, Hyderabad Central University, that is otherwise called University of Hyderabad, in the year 2009. And afterwards, I have been continuing as a director, Center for Distance and Virtual Learning, promoting the higher education for the benefit of the various rural masses and other people who are located in the, not only in the national level but also international level. I happen to be completed mostly nearly about the 10 research projects, guided PhDs and MPhil. Then I could able to publish more than 60 publications in various journals, both in higher education and pharmacognosy. And I am a selection committee members and UGC observer in the various universities, in the UGC observer in the promotion under the career advancement scheme. I was also advisory committee member of the various universities and review committee members, and I happen to be giving the various motivation lectures and encouragement lectures for the benefit of many engineering colleges in Andhra Pradesh. So I am today happy to present my talk on career placements and then career guidance and placement activities sponsored by this 99 channel away. So with these few words I introduce myself, and I will hand it over to my colleague Prof.Prk Murti, who is also going to share with me.
Hello, my name is Professor Prk Murti, retired professor from the University of Hyderabad, right now adjunct professor in the Nalsar University of Law. I got something like, you may call it, 45 years of teaching and research experience in various universities. My career started in 1966 from Indian Institute of Technology at Kharagpur. I took my BTech, MTech and PhD from there. Then I was assistant professor also there. Then 1974, I went abroad, firstly to Belgium, then to West Germany, and then to Netherlands. I was a postdoctoral research fellow in some of the Belgian universities, and also in the Holland universities, and a prestigious Humboldt senior fellow in West Germany. So that is one part of my career. At that point in time, I had an opportunity to do my MBA in Catholic University of Leuven in Belgium, one of the most prestigious colleges. Surely doing this MBA has given me one more dimension, there is no doubt at all about that. And that slightly changed my career in the sense that I got much more interested in management subjects, especially quantitative finance, strategic finance, and then international business finance, subjects like this. Subsequently, I was in Europe for about 10 years, then returned to India, joined the University of Hyderabad in the Department of Computer Science. I started taking up applications of computers in the management area. That was my specialty. Subsequently, it's a bit difficult for me to explain now, because though it seems to be a bit commonplace now, at that point in time, way back in 1991, it wasn't so much that engineers were doing law. I think I was one of the first engineers actually to have done my LLB, Pendekanti College, 1993, then my LLM, Osmania University, 1999, and recently I was awarded the PhD in law by the Kakatiya University in the year 2010 for my dissertation on digital signatures, the legal significance. So, to cut a long story short, I am somebody, a researcher and a teacher with three dimensions. One dimension technology, the other dimension management, and the third dimension is law. And I now feel that surely this is a good background, because as I see it, the future is all for interdisciplinary subjects. I'm going to talk about it a little bit later, but just to wind up my what I can call as academic career and so on, needless to say that I got something like 50 publications in the technology area, and something like what I can call as 20 publications in the management area, and 10 publications in the legal area, attended various conferences, was also session chairman at one of the best universities, namely University of London, Queen Mary College. Okay, these are some of the highlights of my career in management, technology and law. Now, I'll just get back and would like to advise the younger people that the time has come for importance of interdisciplinary subjects. How do I know it? I'm not just talking just for the heck of that. I myself started the course on cyber laws and intellectual property rights way back in 2001 in the distance mode in the University of Hyderabad. Never forget, we are now in 2015. 2001, nobody has any idea what is this cyber affair is all about actually. So we are the first people to really educate advocates, police people, and police officers and so on, and also the common people who joined our course as to what internet is all about, and as to what internet contracts are all about, e-contracts, e-commerce, e-governance, and not to speak of very important emerging subject, cybercrime. So this is how we started our course, and also added intellectual property rights to that, namely patents, copyright, their significance and so on. This course has found great favor, as Prof.Jeelani knows very well. He is in fact a patron of the course, as I call it. He gave me so much of encouragement. He is the beacon light for us, very frankly. And this course has found so much of favor that in the first year we had 800 students, and gradually now it's stabilized at about something like 100 to 150 students every year. Even now the enrollment is like that. Some of you people may ask me, what has happened to started with 800, how about the rest of them? Well, they passed. Okay, a person who passes doesn't repeat the course, as you know. So this is the way. It's a very nice attendance we have. So surely with Professor Jeelani's permission, we feel very proud of this course, and we are going to advance this course much more.
Thank you, Professor Prk Murti garu, for giving a well diversified and international exposure of yourself and giving a brief introduction to our participants. Before we quickly go to this today's topic, career counseling and the placement activities, today's the topic on which, as you know, we have the lot of exposure, maybe Prk Murti 45 years and maybe I am 30 years of experience in the educational field, but we are limitizing our presentation and talk in the career counseling and the placement activities for the benefit of our viewers away. So in my presentation, I am just restricting a 15-20 minutes presentation before I hand it over to Professor Prk Murti. So in my 15-20 minutes presentation, I am going to speak on three aspects. Number one, first one is the higher education. What is the higher education concept? Second one is the what is the future prospectus for the graduate and professional students. And third aspect is how to pursue these professional courses in a successful way. So these are the three present challenges which I want to advise the students for their most best successful career away. Let us come to our first aspect is higher education in India and abroad. Higher education means it starts from graduation and then post-graduation and then PhD. Then below that it is called secondary education. Then below that it is called it as a primary education. So presently the most of the students who are worried about this is once they joined about primary education, naturally they aspire for the secondary education. naturally they aspire for higher secondary education, naturally they aspire for the higher education. But the higher education is the deciding factor, is the turning point for the many of the youth and many of the younger generation, where they need lot of clarity, lot of analysis and lot of calculation, so that they can place themselves in a right way. So in these aspects, what is higher education, what is the opportunities in higher education in India, that a few words, just 5 minutes I will tell you, then we will go to the career prospectus for the professional students. Now higher education in India, presently in India there are 700 universities, 40,000 colleges are there, and then nearly 2 lakh students are pursuing, nearly it is more than 2 crore students are pursuing away, 4 lakh teachers have been teaching away, and still do you feel this number is sufficient or more? 400 universities, 40,000 colleges is a sufficient number, or it is a more number or less number? That is what. In fact, I say that the number is very, very less. This was not told by me, this was told by the Knowledge Commission Chairman Sam Petroda, who has revolutionized the telephone sector into the very globalistic level. So he was in 2009 appointed as a chairman, as a Knowledge Commission Chairman. Then he has recommended that India should need 1500 universities. India should need 1500 universities to reach the more and more average. Why he has recommended this number of 1500 universities? There is a strong reason, because in India the higher education enrollment is only 27%. Only there is a global average is 27%. In India the higher education is just 17%, and developed nation like USA, America and Australia more than 60%. So these statistics is say India out of 100 only 17 people are pursuing higher education, rest of the people of the 83% of the people unable to pursue the higher education. Similarly, global average is 27%. Developed nation is a more than 60%. Where is 60%? Where is that 17%? Huge difference. Suppose as per the wish of our former President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who says India should become a developed nation by 2020, India should reach this at least more than 30% of the higher education enrollment, then only India could able to do a developed nation away. So this was the government of India major task away for increasing this 17% higher education enrollment to the 30%. They already kept in the 12th plan period. By 2017 they should bring the students, they should provide the higher education for more than 30% students. But what is the other aspects? There is other constraints also, because now we are having central universities, we are having deemed universities, we are having the private universities, we are having state universities, we are having autonomous institutions, we are having IITs like national institutions of importance, several institutions are there. But the quality of education is differ from one institution to another institution. For example, I will tell you one example. In United Andhra Pradesh, there are 840 engineering colleges. The number of seats are 320,000 seats. The total out of 320,000 seats, half of the seats are vacant. Now as a viewers, you can question me, sir, one side you are telling 1500 universities, whereas other side half the seats are going on vacant. What is this? So that's why the statistics, the survey report conducted. Basically student is our customer. What is his expectation? Why he is not coming away? Suppose 700 universities, 40,000 colleges, still seats are vacant, and whereas we are asking for 1500 universities. That means we need to provide the need-based education to our customer, who are none other than our students. So the students' requirement what exactly? So students, the survey conducted by the UGC says that the student needs two things. Broadly he needs two things. Number one is he is ready to invest money, he is ready to invest everything, but he wants two primary things. One is a guaranteed placement. When he is investing 4 years of BTech course, he is asking what is the guarantee after 4 years. Then second one is flexible learning. Flexible learning means he want to learn by having a cup of tea, learn while you earn. The Western concept is already there, learn while you earn. So whenever they are earning away, they want to simultaneously learn also, that concept. But our Indian tradition is there, they should be full-time, dedicated teaching, 10 to 5, they should come 4 years away. Then after 4 years or 5 years are spending of the professional course like BTech or MBA, what is the guarantee? So these are the questions which are being pointing out from the viewers of the students' point of view. They are asking any course which is offering a guaranteed career and guaranteed placement, they are ready to invest money. That's why IITs, IIMs, they are there because they are getting placement right in the third year itself. So that's why our syllabus, curriculum should be right, like Prof.Prk Murti right now he was telling that cyber laws course. These are the very important. Once upon a time, law courses were mostly neglected. There is a old proverb of law that Chettu kinda pleader. So a lawyer is under tree, who is not getting any promotion, but all of a sudden 10 national law universities came, and every student, UGC chairman student, or every big people's children want to join this course. What happened? What happened this course, earlier it was no employment, but now there is a lot of career. Because as Professor Prk Murti rightly said, they revised the syllabus. Those days gone, CRPC, only CPC, basic thing. Now they are coming with taxation, IPR, intellectual property rights, they are coming with cyber crimes, and they are coming with patent rights, which is relevant to the society. So same law course which was treating as a lawyer under a tree, and now the same law course is giving lot of importance away. So our educational institution should update the basic courses, even update the curriculum, then provide to the education. Definitely there will be good career. Like for example, I will tell one more example. Sociology, psychology, they were teaching long back ago, only people were studying for civil service examination. But now a clinical psychologist is earning better than an engineer, better than a doctor. Corporate sociologist is earning
legal areas, because technology and all that is covered by Professor Jeelani so well. Coming to management, as far as let me tell you, I'm so lucky that God has given me plenty of age. I have myself seen before my eyes the management area growing up by leaps and bounds. Way back when I went to Europe sometime in 1974, only IIMs were there and a few management institutes were there in better known universities, that's all. Otherwise management as a subject wasn't never known to the common man. Now these days, almost every gully of Hyderabad has a management school or whatever, as I feel it. Just to make you laugh, don't take it that seriously. But then, yes, each college has a role to play. And the decision actually is on the part of the students who would like to join those colleges to think carefully as to what is the type of profession they would like to go for and what is the type of management specialization they should take up. For example, if you take up this broad area of management education, you know very well we can say that firstly there is human resources wing, there is finance and accounting wing, and then there is production wing, and then there is international business wing, and so on. You can also have some subcategories, that's not all that important either. So now, Professor Jeelani has so rightly said it, rather than just with a sheepish mentality, just join some course because your elders have advised or your friends are taking it up. You must have some sort of an idea as to what you want to become and what you are strong at. For example, if somebody, what I can call as, doesn't even know what I can call as how he is spending the pocket money given by the parents, he better not join finance. Do you follow? One should have, at that age I believe so, people will be able to know a little bit about their interests and their strong points and quite rightly weak points. Honestly, it's better to know the weak points rather than the strong points, as we call it. Later on in management, we call it with a big technical word, SWOT analysis. Strengths, weaknesses, and then threats and opportunities, and so on. So once a student feels that, well, let's say that human resources is his cup of tea, then he can take up human resources as a specialization in his MBA. Then surely, because that is his interest, we expect that he will study hard. Not only that, never forget, what your teachers cannot do is that you should be able to what I can call as through the internet, know a lot about human resources, as to how it is going on in practice, and read a variety of what I can call as, you may call it scholarly articles in a variety of journals and so on. How do you know these journals? By that time either you yourself will know or one of your lecturers will guide you. That is, any lecturer will feel so happy when a student comes to him for some advice. So this is not a big deal really to know what journals to read, what articles to read and so on. I would like to mention this one because that is the one which will give you confidence. Learning from the lecturers is one stage, and learning on your own and build an edifice on the foundation given by your lecturers gives you wonderful confidence, which you will be able to show, really speaking, when you go for interviews. So this is what I can call as a bit of an advice I give to younger students, which unfortunately wasn't there in my days actually, rightly or wrongly, but we progressed. No regrets for what was there beforehand, that's not necessary right now. Then somebody wants to, let us say, take up finance rather. Then he should really know that this is an area wherein jobs are waiting for the right type of students. Right type is very, very important. Why? Lakhs and lakhs people pass MBA with finance management. But then all corporates will say, we are not able to get the right type of students. We get students only with bookish knowledge. What is meant by right type of students, by the way? I would just beg the students to understand, not only you read books and pass the exams, that's very, very important. I am no fool to say you should fail your exams, by the way. That should certainly get precedence and importance. But along with it, never forget to read the easily available daily financial press newspapers like Economic Times, Business Standard, Business Line and so on. These are available right in your college library. Spend some time in going through them. Then you will be able to know what's happening today in these areas in the Indian financial scene. That will help you a lot when you really face the interviews, and the future employers will be so happy to know that you are plugging the gap between academics and what they are looking for an employee. Never forget that the old days are gone as to how you fit into an organization. Frankly, in management we used to say, how do you get the work done? Just to make you laugh, I say my boss banks me, I bank my subordinate, that is the way the work is going to be done. These are all, it doesn't fit in with present day's philosophy. Why? Once a task is given to you, your superior expects you will be able to meet with the task without much help from him. Gone are the days when you say you learn on the job. Yes, in one sense, you keep on learning on the job. I am no fool to say that you won't learn on the job. But you should be able to take up the job, start with it right from day one. Never forget that. Because in the present day, very fast world, no manager or your superiors have any time to guide you, catch you hand in hand, and take you and teach you as to how a job is to be done, by the way. So if you were to have some skills in having some knowledge, how you can tackle a particular assignment given to you, you are worth your weight in gold. This is what corporates are saying, that we do get, yes, good students, good ranks and all that, but unfortunately there are people to whom we have to give again some lot of extra training. Otherwise they are unable to take up their jobs, by the way. So I merely mentioned the problem. Do you follow? What we see is the tip of the iceberg. The problem is really quite serious, and how an intelligent student tackles it is with his own self-efforts, guided by his faculty, his professors and senior people like Prof.Jeelani, to whom he can always turn for some advice. This is the way I like to put it. Then now, I am coming to law. In some sense now, management and law, these have become inseparable, by the way. Earlier, as Professor Jeelani said it, law was a separate field. In a lighter vein, I would like to say, whosoever was not succeeding in his life was going to law. So that's how we find in law people from BSc, BCom and whatnot. There's nothing wrong in that. But now times have changed, by the way. Why? Never forget, earlier the corporates were few and far between. The main employer agencies are the government agencies like the railways, the public sector and so on. There were very few corporates, by the way. I don't want to vex you with statistics, but as we gradually got industrialized, through the second 5-year plan, third 5-year plan and so on. Gradually as we developed, much more so, never forget, this is the best opportunity for me. Once we started getting globalized, as we call it, since 1991, the corporate sector has grown up by leaps and bounds. There is no comparison at all as to what was happening before 1991 and what was ushered in, and the progress that we see after 1991. So now, broadly I can say, for what I can call as one so-called public sector job or government job, you have got, if I may say so, some 100 corporate jobs actually. And now that corporate sector has so much expanded, frankly this is a golden age for people with the right type of preparation, as I call it, and right type of skills to be immediately be absorbed with the corporate sector, and sky is the limit for their advancement. This is what I can certainly tell you. Then, once we go into this so-called law area, corporates are now looking for people with legal knowledge, okay? They need not be advocates, by the way, that's not necessary. We call solicitors sometimes, but even that is not necessary. An engineer, if he has some legal knowledge, he is certainly much more useful than just an engineer only. In the same way, a management person with some legal knowledge is going to be much more useful rather. At least the corporates will be able to tell him as to how he is wrongly thinking. I don't want to use a strong word, illegally thinking, but wrongly thinking and so on, because with his own little principles of law, he will be able to know what is the right and what is the wrong things, by the way. I hope that you will certainly appreciate this. So much so, at least in my own mind, when my own colleagues laughed at me when I started studying law in the 1990s, now they have turned around and they say, Dr. Murti is our best spokesperson. Means whatever problems they have, it is Dr. Murti, he will talk convincingly and try to, what I can call as, pass on their viewpoint to whosoever they want to involve with. So now, once law started expanding, corporates started giving a lot of encouragement and so on, the management and law gradually came more and closer together. Do you follow? The difference between them has started vanishing. Then there is also one more very important development that has taken place. You know very well that compared to earlier 3-year degree law course, now there are 5-year degree law courses, which are becoming more and more popular. Okay? And in this 5-year degree, first 2 years is supposed to be either BA courses or BCom courses or even BBM, Bachelor of Business Management courses. Depending on the law university, they have spun out or they have what I can call as created a variety of courses like this. So much so at the end of the 5th year, you are a BA LLB or BCom LLB or BBA LLB or BSc LLB. Frankly, this is the way a variety of courses have come up. And these are what we call as give a nice interdisciplinary background to firstly your own area, let us say BCom, do you follow? Or what I can, or even BTech LLB, do you follow? This is a bit separate, not 5 years. First you have to do BTech and then do LLB and so on. In any case, once these courses have become available, now let me honestly tell you, you have got plenty of choice left to you. Frankly, there is so much choice, people get confused, and that is the purpose of this particular lecture, so nicely given by Prof.Jeelani, and then in my own area I am trying to supplement, by the way. Once there is choice, that is wonderful. It is something like, supposing that before you, some 10 sweet dishes are kept, different types of sweets. We are very near to polarity sweets here, sir. So it so happens, people like me at least get confused, which one to take first. Do you follow? It is true, I have sympathy for that. That's why in these guidance courses, we will try to tell you, firstly depending on your strong points, okay, your aspirations. We would like to, what I can call as, suggest a couple of courses, 3-4 courses, from which you can yourself take up for what you are best suited. That is the way you will waste least time and you will take up a course which is best beneficial to you. Now, the university in which I have been working as adjunct professor, Nalsari University of Law, is one of the first ones to start management courses where law is also taught. Okay? But that is at postgraduate level. Management courses with law. So much so, once you finish those courses, naturally big corporates, for example, you know very well that Hyderabad itself is a pharmaceutical city, it's also a software city. These graduates with both management and law are given first preference, and frankly, you will forgive me if I say I am so envious of their high salaries, sir. My own students are getting at least 3-4 times than myself. Okay, and certainly I feel very proud of that. That is the stuff of human progress. I never wish that they should get the way we got salaries about 20 years back. That is not the idea at all. Surely we feel very happy about it. If anything, we want that they should be much more successful, be able to command far better salaries, because they are able to prove to very intelligent interviewers about their wonderful background, and they are prepared to take up whatever assignment is given the moment they join the particular concern. This is the change that has come, and gradually students who go to higher education, let it be Nalsar University of Law type law universities or very good MBA colleges, they are gradually appreciating this and gradually molding themselves to a good career that is going to be open for them. We would like to emphasize this, that others, we are what I can call as, we are interested in the well-being of every student, by the way. Never forget that. We don't want to distinguish some people who are wonderful, some people who are not, and only thing is, we have to accept the reality. If some students are slightly at the back compared to the people who are sprinting and running, these people should not lose their heart. There are opportunities for them. Prof.Jeelani himself has said there are so many what I can call as distance education courses, online courses and so on, given by very good universities and sometimes for almost no fee. Okay, which these students should sincerely take it up. Now I used the word sincere. Never forget, this is a word that is a pathway or a highway for success.
Sir Murti, sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
Can you throw some light on the student who are, because you have a lot of exposure on the Germany and America and other countries.
Yes, sir.
So those students who want to aspire, what are the constraints and what are the advantages in the international level of the countries which you have seen?
I'll address that one also, sir. So now I'll try to make a bridge between this and foreign education. So students should always sincerely try to improve themselves. What I would like to say is that you can take a horse to the river but can never make it drink. We can give a lot of advice, but the sincerity, as I call it, and the burning desire to improve himself should firstly come from the student side. And this is in some way connected with another angle or another door which I would like to open, namely education abroad. Yes, education abroad is very, very attractive, albeit a bit more expensive depending on what type of university you are going to, what country you are going to, and so on. So expense part we need not have to touch here, because as somebody who has gone abroad, I also know that a lot of these expenses can be managed by the student through some part-time work. He may not be able to totally make up for the entire expenditure. Most countries will allow the students to work for something like 4 hours a day, 5-day week, some 20 hours. That is quite enough for the student to make up for a lot of expenditure, by the way. So we'll keep expenditure part a little bit away. But then, we have got excellent courses in India, no doubt IIMs. In fact, let me honestly tell you, some of our IIMs, top IITs and so on, they attract students from abroad. Students come to University of Hyderabad from abroad. That is because we want to have some sort of a good cultural and educational interchange. But then for most of our Indian students, once they feel that they would like to go abroad and pursue higher education, I would always encourage them to do so. Why? Because, yes, you take a MTech here, doesn't matter. But at the same time, you can start with an MS in US, either in the same subject or in a very much related subject. Okay? Because that will open a big door of an opportunity for you, firstly for employment abroad, but at the same time, it will also open the window for working studying in a new country first, after passing, working in a new country. Okay, by new country, what I mean is a country which the civilization of which and so on is so different from us, and also never forget the work culture is so much different from us. And that work culture is something that you actually learn much more when you go abroad, by the way. Do you follow? Otherwise, let me honestly confess, I was one of the most lazy students until I went abroad. Once I went abroad, the work culture is such that you automatically fall in line, you become very, very active. So I have become an active Murti, But now I really don't know. Professor Jeelani sometimes says, I'm an overactive Murti now. So even at this stage, I'm able to give what I can call as eloquent lectures. Means what? Is it not overactivity, sir? Okay, in any case, firstly, you must try to go abroad. Most people would like to go to English-speaking countries like US, Canada, Australia and so on, depending on their interests, depending on the cost of the education, depending whether they have some relatives in those countries to slightly help them to grope the way and so on. Then England anyway is there. Then the continent is also opening its door very much now. So much so in cities like Hyderabad, there are some, I don't know how to call them, educational advisors from universities from Germany, from Sweden, from Netherlands, Belgium and all these countries by the way. This education is also very, very useful education. Firstly, you find, as somebody who spent about 10 years of my life in Europe, I find that the European universities are excellent as far as standards are concerned. Much more so, if I may add, a little distinction is that they normally believe in what I can call as job-oriented type of education, in the sense that the projects are always done in industry. So much is not there to some extent in America, unless otherwise go to a proper university. But here in Europe, the culture of the university is such that all the professors, they have got contacts with the industry. And if I say, where is Professor Horan? They say he's in Germans. Right now he has a room there. Okay. And it will be very, very surprising for us. A professor having so much of contact with the very famous electrotechnic company, as I call Siemens in Germany, but Siemens as we call it here in India. So much so, when a student goes to some of these continental universities, he will be able to get more of a professional type of education needed by the various industrial concerns. So this is how education does differ, and I always believe it should be so. Education should never be totally stereotyped, as it was quite a few decades back when I was a student. So a student, depending on his own interest, do you follow, can certainly take up any of these continental countries, as I call it, means Germany, then Netherlands, then Belgium, Sweden, Norway and so on, and take up either an advanced management course there, or engineering course there, engineering and technology course there, or even courses in law, okay, social sciences and so on, as Professor Jeelani has given that wider coverage. So these opportunities are open now. Earlier it wasn't so, because in 1974 when I went to Germany, okay, then there were, except in the universities, a few people were understanding English. Otherwise, outside people weren't understanding English at all. If I can enjoy a little bit of humor, when they found my name is Murti, they were asking me, what are you to Narayana Murti, Infosys chairman? And my immediate reply is, he is my uncle. Okay, so they were giving me good treatment and so on. Okay, I could get away rather, because English knowledge was so limited for the common people. Now recently I went to University of Münster in the year 2008, almost every summer I am going there rather. Now, the German students have picked up so much of English, and that is the effect of the software industry. Anywhere in the world, if it is software industry, means some English must be known. Now German students have picked up so much of English that I gave them a lecture in the English language, and they put their doubts in English. Their doubts were so difficult for me, I thought I'll try to explain that in better English later on. Okay, so in a slightly lighter vein, please remember, English is now no problem at all in any of these countries, firstly in the universities, and then even at a little bit educated level. So that need not have to deter you. I am talking about the continent, not technically Russia and all that, where I really don't know the situation right now, frankly. And so a person can also take up university places, higher university education and so on, in some of these continental countries, as we call it. Okay. So now, that will certainly add one more dimension for you. In other words, if I may say so, you are not just a raw student anymore. Do you follow? And in a lighter vein, I can say you become a pahilwan, frankly, in the sense that you become somehow in a country where English is not their main language and so on. You face so many issues and try to solve it intelligently. And as such, I would like to put it, you become very confident, you gain experience, and not to speak of the fact that the very fact that you are taking a diploma engineer, as they call it, do you follow, is itself a very good qualification all over the world. So in a brief manner, I would always like to encourage people, after finishing their either degree or postgraduate degree, doesn't matter, to go abroad. Don't think of what I can call as time that is passing by. For example, God has given me a long life. Now I retired at 65 years of age. Now in this long service period and so on, something like 2, 3, 4, even 5 years for education, one need not have to regret. As long as that education is going to
the various activities in higher educational aspects, then we also brief them how to pursue their higher education studies, then how methodically, how systematically they should do. Then third aspect, we have shown them what are the various opportunities in the national level, in the government sector, in the private sector, in the pharma sectors. And then Prof.Prk Murti is very well highlighted about the law courses, and he also highlighted about the various international procedures like Germany, Netherlands, Belgium and USA, of those who are aspiring for the international countries. So with this, those who are pursuing the higher education, maybe in arts and science, maybe in commerce, maybe in management, maybe in law, maybe in medicine, maybe in pharma, everybody is having a wide scope in government sector, public sector, private sector and international sector. Only the thing will is that the participants or the student should have a strong determination, strong willpower, strong analysis and then action plan. So they should have set first the goal, what they want to go, where they work. Opportunities are very wide, and then time will not come, opportunities will not come once only. But before you take any opportunity, plan yourself, take advice and then systematically approach the thing. Then only you can become a successful employer or successful entrepreneur or successful practitioner away. So with these few words, I myself join along with Prof.Prk Murti for thanking the 99 TV channel for giving an opportunity to share our wide activities and exposure for the benefit of our viewers. We always welcome to your feedback and suggestion, and any queries are there, our email IDs are given to you. You are most welcome to them for any personal suggestion and feedback. Thank you all.